Good afternoon, Bloomington. It is Friday at 3:05 p.m. You're listening to WIUX LP Bloomington, and this is Growing Pains, the show where we do a lot of cool things, including interviewing local artists. I am joined in the studio today by the one, the only Damion. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Glad to have you on. This is really exciting. This was a little bit of a last-minute get-together, but I was excited to find you and hear your music after the His interview I did on Wednesday, and you guys put it together that night at the Block.
It was at Orbit Room, actually.
Orbit Room.
Yeah.
Okay, exciting. And he talked really highly of you and also the people who were there, so I'm excited to have you join me.
Oh, yeah. They were a really good band, too. They were surprisingly, I listened to their record, and it was, acoustic music, and then it was a full band at the show.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just, incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I could have seen it, but I know that they hightailed it back to Toronto right after the show, which is
Oh, yeah.
a little bit insane. But yes, good to have you join us. You're more local than Toronto, so awesome to have you on. We're here to talk about your music. You put out a full album, Special Interest, about a year ago, a little less than that.
Yeah, last August.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to listen to a selection of songs off of that, which is exciting, and just get to know you a little bit as a musician. So excited to have you on. If you would start just by telling us a little bit about who you are. Who is Damion?
I don't know. I just have been writing songs for a while. I've played in a bunch of other bands in town for the last 8 or 10 years since I was in college. I was in Laughing Gas. I've played with Bug, Amy O, some bands, BCC, Spissy, some other bands that people who've been around for a little bit will know.
Were you a student at IU or?
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I graduated 8 years ago.
Okay. And what was your major?
I studied film.
Okay, cool. So media school.
Yeah, it was actually a different school then.
Oh, wow.
The media school took over, I think the year after I graduated.
Okay, cool. Yeah, interesting. I didn't know that. I feel like I'm trapped in my little bubble of being here for 3 years and just knowing what's happened in the past 3. But super cool. We're going to start out. I would love just to get people acquainted with your sound and this whole record. So I think the first order of business is just to play from the top of the record. The first song we have is Company Man.
Cool.
I love the guitar solo at the end. Any thoughts about this one, though, before we jump right into it?
No, nothing that would do better justice than just listening to the song. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll do just that then. This is Company Man, Damion. Enjoy.
Elbows on the butt, shining orders.
And we're back. That was Company Man, Damion. We were chatting over the end of that song, but yeah, what a cool song. I think themes throughout this album, just all this stuff going on, all the cool synth stuff, bass stuff. Yeah, tell me a little bit about, I guess this goes into the record as a whole, but when did you mentioned that you've been playing in all these Bloomington-based bands, but at what point were you like, I want to make a solo record?
Well, I guess I've always written songs, and I've had other bands where I was writing songs, and they're a little bit less serious for a little bit. And then the studio that the record was made at, Russian Recording, my friend Ben Lumsdane got a job there as the audio engineer. But that's my job now, but I sort of took over when he left. But when he first got the job, he was really, really like proactive in getting his friends to actually like follow through on the stuff they were doing, and he knew I wrote songs. So he was like, hey, let's make your record. And even then it took me like a few years to actually go and do it, but I'm glad that we did, and Ben drummed on the record and engineered it and mixed it.
When you were like writing these body of songs, was it always going to be like, okay, these are the ones on the album, or had they come from different points in your life?
I knew they were all like definitely part of a new project that was going to be the same thing. And the album kind of just took shape. Like, I didn't have like other songs that didn't make the cut. I had like one, I think, that didn't end up on the record. But mostly it was just like, these are the kind of songs I write, and they all fit on this record. And there's not some, I feel like sometimes it's like a boring answer, especially when you're like getting ready to release a record and you're filling out all this stuff about like what's the story of the record, and it's like the record is literally just the songs I wrote in the last like year. And that's just, they all end up like on the record, so that's what it is. That's like what it ends up being.
Well, I feel like there doesn't always need to be some dramatic like, oh, this was my like coming of age, or this record changed my life, or
and so sometimes maybe it's jaded, but I think that like sometimes when people say that, they're just being fake or something. Not always, definitely not always, but like I could see how you'd feel inclined to come up with like a story like that. But for this one, it really was just like, these are the songs I'm working on. They all kind of have a certain sound, and I just wanted to record them. And I didn't even know I was gonna really make a record. It was just kind of gonna be like, these are the songs I'm gonna go in and record. It's gonna be cool to have them sounding good. And then it took quite a while, but eventually it was like, I'll put the record out, and here it is.
Here you are. No, I think that's a really interesting point. I feel like a lot of people, when maybe writing albums, aim for cohesion in their writing, and like, so they have a set storyline in mind. But also I feel like if you're a person making music, it's gonna just sound like you, and that's where the cohesion comes from. So like, whether it's intentional or not, like, you're always gonna end up with a project that sounds like you.
So. And if somebody could control that, like I'm gonna write songs for this album and this other album at the same time, and like, if somebody could like organize that in their head and compartmentalize it, it would be like really impressive. Because I don't know how like somebody would even be able to do that, because it's just kind of like, this is the music I have in my head that I write down, you know.
I think a lot of change in sound just comes from change over time, like just natural stuff. So it makes sense that this body of work sounds like itself, and then, you know, whatever you do next will be its own entity. But you've changed since then, so interesting. No, it's cool. I've had people come in who have written. I had someone come in who said he wrote 150 songs for his 10-song album, and
no way.
The 10 were the ones that made the cut, but I don't know. I personally, like, I feel like if it's hard to bang. I can't imagine myself writing 150 songs and then not doing anything with them. I don't know. That's also so many songs to write, but
yeah, I don't write that many in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of how this project differentiates from when you were writing songs, say, for other bands, like, what was different in your approach to writing these ones?
I guess most of the other bands I was in before this, most of the serious ones, I wasn't really the songwriter. I was more like just the guitar player, bass player, key player or something. Mm-hmm. But when I did write songs before, it was more like a reflection of what the kind of stuff I was listening to. Like when I first started writing songs, it was a lot more like simple kind of like alt country kind of. I was listening to a lot of like John Prine and Towns and stuff, and I kind of started writing songs like that, but I was just kind of figuring out how to do it. And then I think as my just taste in what I liked evolved. So the songs I was writing did too, to kind of be like more, a little more like I don't know, like intricate in terms of like arrangement and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in these songs, which is really cool. Which is why I would love to see you live and see how that all comes together. But, yeah, neat. I would love to play the second song off your album now. Your Secret is Safe with Me. I was reading that from some other interviews you've done, you worked as a delivery driver?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I actually still kind of do that, but yeah.
And listen to a lot of late night radio?
Yeah, I found some great songs that way.
Okay. And how does that play into this song?
Well, that's kind of like more like just this record as a whole. Like I was writing this whole record around the time that I was driving. I was driving for Mother Bears, and I would be driving like late at night, and yeah, I would hear just like just like the classic hits radio station. Like they play cooler stuff at night, and I kind of like didn't. That was like sort of something that. The like stuff you read that I said sort of came about. Like I wasn't really aware of that when I was writing the songs, but by the time I was getting ready to release the record and kind of working on like, you know, the press stuff like that, it sort of became more clear to me that was where a lot of the influence was coming from. Like sort of like the weird stuff you hear on the radio late.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Well, we'll get to hear maybe some of that influence into Your Secret is Safe with Me. Also, I love the music video, so I'd like to talk about it after, too.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, Your Secret is Safe with Me. Damion, enjoy. And we're back. That was Your Secret is Safe with me, Damion. I mentioned the music video before, which you have a couple that are out. This one is super fun. It looks like it's maybe recorded on film or...
Yeah, it's on a camcorder.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How did that come? It's hard to talk about because people can't see it, but you can actually look it up right now and go watch it. But tell us a little bit about the making of that.
Yeah, that one was a fun one to do. It was shot at my dad's house in Valpo. He lives like a few hours away in Valparaiso. Mm-hmm. And it's the house I grew up in and everything. He and my brother lived there. And, me and my girlfriend, Chrisanne, just kind of drove up one day with the camcorder, and we're like, we're going to just shoot the video here with my brother, Dom, who's playing the drums in the video.
Yeah.
And we kind of just like, it was like a super hot day. We set up the camera, and I had my dad burn a fire in the barrel. And we just kind of got like the set going, and my dad's dog Tonto is running around the whole time.
Yes.
And
beautiful dog.
Yeah, he's a great dog. And so we had to make sure we got a lot of shots of him. And it was kind of we were just kind of blasting the song from Chris Ann's car, and her car battery like died. We had to get a new one the next day. I kind of forgot about that till right now. Yeah.
Wow. So a lot of trial and tribulation went into this music video. No, it looks super cool, and I was wondering too where it was shot because it kind of seems like you're out in the middle of nowhere. But
yeah, it's like sort of rural Porter County.
Mm-hmm. It's posted too to the Earth Library's account, and I was just trying to figure out what that was, but it's your music label.
Oh yeah, they're the record label that made the record.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about their involvement and how they started working?
So when it kind of came time to figure out like, am I gonna put the record out, or I think it was important to me, probably important to a lot of people, that actual records get made, and I didn't want to just put it online. It's like, that's cool to do that too, but for me, I was like really trying to get a record. So I just kind of, they were just a label I was aware of because they did some reissue work that I liked. There's this film soundtrack for the documentary about Suzanne Ciani, who's like this really cool, early pioneer, like synthesizer person who was like one of the players of this kind of synth called like the Buchla. And she's just like, she's kind of like a synthesizer genius. And they put out her record, and then I don't remember exactly how. Somehow I just like found myself looking into it, and I was like, oh, this is a label. Maybe I should send them the record. Yeah. And I did, and they liked it and decided to do it.
Yeah. What was their influence on, like, what did they contribute to this record and past that?
Oh, they're really hands-off in terms of creative stuff.
Okay.
It was kind of just like they handled all the, record label business of and it's, stuff that I would have no idea how to do myself, like, figuring out like how to get the record pressed. It was pressed at the big place in Czechoslovakia where so many like other places do that. But like they did that. They did all the like getting it on Spotify and Bandcamp and everything and distributing it. They have a distributor. So it's just they took care of all that. And when it comes to like creative stuff like the videos and the record, it was just like very, very hands off, just kind of like do what you do and send it to us, and that's your record.
That's awesome. What did it how did it feel to like hold your physical album for the first time?
Oh yeah, it was great. Like I had the test presses first, and that was very cool. It was like sometimes I've been in other bands where you get a test pressing back and something needs to get changed, or there's just like a little note about it, and then you need to tell them, and they press it again. But this one was right the first time, And yeah, it was great. And then getting the real records was really cool because it's like my friend Aaron Denton did the album artwork.
Right.
And it was nice to like see that. I hadn't really seen it like actual like to size like in that way, and it was just awesome to look at it and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit more about the album artwork, because it was Aaron did it, and then it was modeled off of somebody else's photo.
Yeah, Aaron's wife Anna. They're both really good friends and really good, like just like really supportive people of the record, and they were listening to it years before it was even like done. Sort of, they have been involved since the beginning, and Anna's a really great photographer, and I went to her photo studio, and she took a bunch of photos, and Aaron was there to kind of, you know, just sort of direct the photo shoot based on how he knew he was going to do the design.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, he just went away with it. I gave him an embroidery template that I thought looked cool.
Yeah.
And I said, like, it'd be cool if you can make it look like this, and he made it look like exactly like it.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, just like, what's been your experience working with Bloomington? It sounds like a lot of the help that you might have needed to get this record out has just come from Bloomington. Like, what's been your experience with working with creatives? Do they tend to be your friends? Are they people that other people connect you with?
Oh, yeah. Mostly it's just friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If kind of just playing in a bunch of bands for a long time and getting to know people, it's like between everybody here in town, it's like if you need something, there's somebody who knows how to do it,
mm-hmm.
and someone who's like Aaron when it comes to like design work. It's like there's nobody better than that. It's like
mm-hmm.
nice that's just my friend, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, too, that all the creatives would flock together and work together. But awesome. That's so cool. No, the album artwork is really, really... I saw the needlework, stitching, embroidery design, and I couldn't think of, like, what that would have been inspired by. But very cool. The next song that I would like to play is Round Springfield, a very cool instrumental track.
Mm-hmm.
Any words about this one?
This is my favorite one from the record, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't have to sing. I don't have to sing for it. And also, it was like, this one was pretty ornate, like, arrangement-wise. I had a horn section come in and do the thing. My friend Robert Stevens, who is a sax player and a arranger from the Jacob School, he was just going to play sax on it, and then he heard some of the songs and was like, I'll do full arrangements with, like, a bunch of horn players. So they came in, and there was just, like, a big arrangement for that one. It ends up sounding, like, really big and kind of, like, grand. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, cool. All right, we'll listen to it. Round Springfield. Damion, enjoy. And we're back. That was Rod Springfield's Damion. Can I ask why that name?
That's the name of a Simpsons episode. About that's the one where Lisa inherits a saxophone from her like saxophone hero who dies. And I just kind of didn't have a title for the song for a long time. It was just called like instrumental. And I think my brother is the one who was like, you should just call it this, like it'd be funny. Because that's also the name of that episode is itself a reference to like the Miles Davis record. So like, I don't know, it's all just kind of like funny.
Yeah. That is funny. Wow. Okay. And you also mentioned we were talking about Amy O. That was Amy doing the oohs in the background of that. Very cool. All the people coming together for this. I am interested. It seems like you've welcomed all the people coming in to help. Was there ever any like hesitancy or wariness of having other people kind of put their own influence onto the record, or were you very open to seeing how they could put their own spin on it?
I always, it's something that like I think you get nervous about because I tend to like keep the songs pretty close, and I like demo them out myself, and I'll like play the drums on the demos and all this stuff, and do guitar solos and backup vocals myself, and then think like, well, I really like the way I did it, but I kind of want to just like involve other people. This is how I thought about it at first, and then it just became clear immediately that it's like if you just pick the right people, they are going to do something that's way cooler than you ever thought you could do.
Yeah. That's
like
awesome.
Amy sings a lot better than I do. And same with the horn arrangements on the song, and just anybody who I think my only decision that I even need to worry about at all is just picking the person to do this or that, and then I think if I just pick the right person, they're going to do something that's cooler than what I had in mind anyway.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't know what you don't know, and that goes for the stuff that could be added to your record. You don't know what it could sound like until somebody else does it. So yeah, very cool. I'm curious. I have this theory, I suppose, but it sounds like you are very a Renaissance person and have done a lot for this record, for other projects. I feel like, though, at every musician's core, you can tell me that I'm wrong, but there's like something that speaks to them the most, whether it's like songwriting or guitar playing or producing. Do you have anything that you feel like is the inherent core of your musicianship, or is everything equally important?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I think the thing that I feel the best at is like learning parts quickly and playing stuff in a way where you try to be tight with the band. And a lot of that is just depending on who you're playing with, but yeah, I guess just I like to just practice. I like to sit at the piano or just have a guitar around for just kind of like on and off all day, and I just like to practice. I guess I think of myself mostly, yeah, as like just like an instrument player more than anything else. I like to do all that other stuff though.
Yeah, clearly. Or this probably wouldn't have been made, but that's awesome. I guess this would have made sense to ask earlier, but when did you start, like when did you pick up music? Like when did you start to learn to play all these instruments?
I started like singing and doing music stuff when I was like a really little kid. I would do like Elvis impersonations, like out at the county fair and things like that. But I started playing guitar like sort of in like middle school, and I started with like the guitar and bass, and just kind of picked up everything else real slowly until I like So like I guess it was just kind of like being bored as a kid and there was nothing else to do, so I would just like, you know, practice piano all day or practice the guitar all day.
That's cool that you did that instead of something a lot less worthwhile. I feel like you could do a lot of stuff with your free time, but at what point did you realize, like once you graduated from school, studied film, at what point were you like, okay, like actually music is the thing?
I guess music has kind of always been like the thing I like to do the most. And I didn't really have to make a choice or anything. It's just kind of like being in this town, and since the music community is so small, it was just kind of like, if you are, you know, pretty good at an instrument, everybody just wants to just have a band with you. And that's true for me and a ton of other people who are also really good. And it's just kind of like you all play in each other's bands, and I don't know, I guess I just liked it a lot and did it, and eventually it got me, like a bunch of spots and bands in my job at the studio and things like that. So it's just kind of like, I guess this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's almost cooler to like have it just happen, and that make it, you know, it's the thing that was supposed to happen, as opposed to really fighting for your life to go one way or another. But very cool. We've got 2 more songs left, but this is not the full record. But the next one we're going to hear is Come Alive. I also really like the music video for this one. It's filmed part of it in Ballantyne, which I recognize my IU student lens. But yeah, any thoughts about this one before we play?
No, this was just the last one. I remember this is one I wrote actually kind of like right before the session, because I thought that I needed like a upbeat sounding song. And that's kind of it came together relatively quick. For sometimes it takes me like months to write a song. Yeah. This one was kind of like a one day sort of thing. Cool. And I just wanted kind of like a fun song. So I came out with this one.
Yay. Cool. This is Come Alive. Damion, enjoy.
Something else,
All right. Come Alive, Damion. We've got one more song off of Special Interest before we end today. I'm curious, though, more on just like your hopes for the future. What is coming next for you? Like, what's in the books?
I mean I've got some stuff planned, like some new songs that I'm just kind of figuring out what to do with, but nothing set yet. But more of the same, more writing songs and playing them and recording them.
Mm-hmm. You play with, is it a pretty consistent group of people when you're doing stuff live?
Yeah, mostly it kind of rotated for a while, but Lewis, who like directed that video, and I'm looking at his record hanging on the wall over there. Lewis is in my band. Drake, who played the pedal steel part on that last song, is the guitar player for the band. Mm-hmm. And I've been playing with my friend Trevor on keys and Mark Edlin on the drums.
Cool.
Mark is another person who it's like I've been playing with in a bunch of bands for years. We have a band called Jackie Boy too, that we've just had for a long time, and he's like a great drummer.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is it nice to have a semi-consistent group of people to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like changing it up though too. It's like if somebody, like the other day, I played a show with my other friend Joe Trahan on saxophone. He's a really good saxophone player, and he kind of has like stepped in and out. Like when he could do a show, it's cool, and he'll come and play, and like everybody's like, "Whoa, that guy's great at sax." And he's also like somebody it's cool to know people because it's like I just call him to do sessions at the studio occasionally and things like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to know people who are so good at doing their thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. In terms of if you had any advice for a younger musician hoping to make it big, hoping to do their own record, what would you tell them?
Well, if they want to make it big, they'd probably do it different than me. But,
maybe the wrong question.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just find what you're good at and just do it. Practice a lot. I think that's the most important thing is just practice your instrument a lot. And if you're really good at your instrument, people are going to value that.
Yeah.
Or if you're a really good songwriter, just keep writing songs.
Keep doing
people want to listen to them.
Awesome. I hope all of you out there are paying attention because that advice is going to take you far. Before we play this final song from Special Interest Roadhouse, is there anything that you would like to plug? We can find you at Damion's office on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Do that. Not a ton else, really.
Music under Damion.
Yeah.
All streaming platforms. Vinyl available for purchase.
Yeah, I have they're always available online. I always have them at shows.
Cool. Any upcoming gigs?
I think there should be one pretty soon here.
Okay.
It's not totally certain, so I don't want to say it, and then people are like, "What happened to that show?" And I have to be like, "Oh, I don't know."
Lied on the air, I guess. No. Yeah. So stay tuned for some secret live stuff that will be confirmed shortly. But awesome. Thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah.
Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Oh yeah, of course. Very cool to have both you and his on this week. Before we jump into Roadhouse, any thoughts about this before we sign off?
Oh no, I just this is just one of the ones that I really mostly just like to play it live. It's one that I didn't think about too much when we were making the record. I mean, I thought about it a lot, but it was definitely not one of the standout songs, and now at the shows it has become a song I really look forward to playing.
Cool. So when that secret show ends up happening, you can hear it there too. This has been Growing Pains on 99.1. My name is Natalie. I'm here every Friday at 3 p.m. Next week, I'll be joined with Westhead to listen to their new record when it comes out. Very exciting. But thank you once again, Damion, for joining us. Bloomington, I'll see you next week. And this is Roadhouse. Enjoy.